I'm here with Mustafa Koita, the founder of Koita Milk. Mustafa, I'm so happy to see you today.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much. I feel like we know your brand so well, right? It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about the fact that you haven't actually needed external financing to grow and scale your brand. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I feel very blessed to have not been able to, or I have to sell any equity to grow the business. But I think part of that decision making had a couple factors. I think number one was it's a very personal decision. Like, what do you want out of the business? Is this a lifestyle business, or are you in it for the money? Those are two big important questions you have to ask yourself. And I think in the beginning you don't have as much of a luxury of choice, but later on, as we started building the company, we got cash flow positive, I realized that I wanted this to be a lifestyle business. I wanted to keep it whole, and I wanted to give it to my kids at some point, and not have the pressures of an external investor involved in the business. The second thing that went into that is that obviously if you don't have financing in the beginning, your growth has to cater to the cash that you have on hand, which was, we basically I self-financed the company. And so what we did is we grew slow and steady, and where a lot of people sort of have the philosophy that you have to kind of go big or go home, we went against the grain of that. We said, listen, let's grow slow and steady, and that worked in our favor. And, we didn't launch with like 20 different products. We launched with 2. We didn't go after 10 different markets. We went after just one city, and then we slowly got some wins and then grew steadily.
Okay, no, but I love that lesson because there is, I think, in society in general, this desire to do it fast and to scale up big. But would you do the same thing all over again?
Yeah, I think I would. Absolutely. And to your point, there's a group that thinks, hey, there's a window of opportunity. You got to hit the window of opportunity. And I do believe that as long as you have your finger on the pulse of what the consumer wants, your product or your service will evolve with time. And you should always make sure you're in that window of opportunity. But you're never going to miss anything. A company will evolve and grow like a baby, and its arms will get longer to learn how to speak different languages. And that's how I kind of looked at the company.
And so you obviously made a decision at some point, okay, now we're ready for more products and expansion. Can you talk about when you got to that point? How did you know?
I think, again, we took a phased approach. So as we brought in products and products got distribution and they were accepted by the consumer, and we started seeing traction. And as consumers started getting used to our products on the shelves and reordering, those sort of factors gave us the confidence to say, hey, we don't need just a whole milk or a low fat, we need a chocolate or we need another size. And then we slowly started adding 1 or 2 SKUs every like 6 months or every year. And after 7 years now, we have a family of like 25 SKUs.
Yeah, no, that's so impressive. I'm glad as a consumer you added chocolate.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I wanted to end off with I'm also so impressed by the way you do your marketing, and I would love to just leave the viewers with a few tips on how you
look. I think with marketing, you got to be honest and transparent about your brand. Your brand usually has a personality, and I think that's the personality of your management team, and let that shine through. Don't be ashamed of what your personality is. And I think consumers are very sophisticated. They can smell someone sort of playing a game or not acting who the brand really is. So we've just kept it very transparent and let our own personality reflect itself in the brand. We use a lot of social media. We're very cavalier, I think, with our marketing. We admit mistakes publicly when we're wrong. But we also highlight our wins, as well. And I think that's sort of a fundamental in marketing, is you just got to keep it real.
Right. And again, you're also of the philosophy you don't need to throw a lot of money into a huge marketing budget.
No,
right?
Not at all. I think that nowadays with the power of social, I'll give you an example. When we launched, we had like a 0 marketing budget. So what we ended up doing, this is about 6-7 years ago, one of the biggest successes that we had in getting the name out is we had coffee mornings with moms. And it was a very grassroots thing. And we'd invite 10 to 15 moms. I'd go there, I'd talk about, my background, why organic milk, how we built the company. Then I'd let them tell us what are some of the other products that they want. And the beauty of that is there was a connection between grassroots and social media at that time, where each mom had like 1,000 followers on Facebook, right? So you're with 10 or 15 moms, but you're hitting 15,000 people, and it's all word of mouth social media marketing. They're taking pictures after the coffee morning, they're getting samples. And we did 10 of those, and we got, probably 150,000 impressions in 2 to 3 weeks with very little budget. So I think there's always an opportunity for an entrepreneur to be creative, in spite of having a small marketing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that particular example.
Sure.
I would love to have you come back and we'll talk a bit more about expansion. Sure. Did you want to tell us where we can get Koita milk or your URL?
It's certainly available online. We're on, Amazon, Gibson's, Carrefour Online, Spinneys, Choichums, all those places on Koita.com. Here in the UAE, we're in 10 countries right now. So every country we've got sort of an online presence. And with this whole Corona situation, online has grown approximately 370% in the last 2-3 months for us. So online is huge. And then we're also in a lot of the brick and mortar stores. People still want to go to a retail shop and buy, packs and whatnot. So we're available in a lot of locations.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mustafa.
No problem.
Okay, we'll see you again soon.
Look forward to it.